For today's lesson, we're going to be learning the more complex or advanced features of the pen tool, creating nice flows or bezier curves. So if you recall from last lesson, we can actually use the pen tool to create a whole bunch of different straight lines. So starting off here with the pen tool by hitting P on my keyboard, if you just left click, you'll notice that it creates just straight lines, which is great for certain purposes. But for other types of artwork, we need to actually have curves. So I'm just going to take my selection tool and get rid of this. And now what I plan to do is go back into the pen tool. To create the bezier curves or nice flowing lines, left click, and now what you're doing is instead of just going left click, you're going click and drag, left click and drag. And as you do that, you can kind of get this nice sort of kind of curvature in the different objects that you're actually creating in this case. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to actually go ahead and we are going to paste an image of flames directly into our document. And zooming in by holding down Alt to my zoom wheel, we're going to get kind of up close here. Okay, so let's begin with the pen tool here. So again, P on your keyboard or click on the icon right over here for your pen tool. I think a good place to start is probably going to be right about here. Now, not going to lie here, the pen tool is extremely difficult to use. And so I think the hardest part is trying to figure out where to actually left click and drag. So I'm going to try and help you in that respect here. Now, if you notice that I have this curve right over here, what I tend to do is I like to actually look at the hump of the curve, and then I like to look at where it dips. And that's what I do is I left click, and I'm going to now pull out my cursor and do a bit of a drag here. Now you'll notice I also have these little bezier handles that pop up here as well too, so I can kind of drag things to kind of get them to conform really nicely along here. Okay, so that's my first one. Now you'll notice that I've got my second one here, and I know that I've come a little bit too far along, but I can always adjust my points afterwards. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to click and drag here. And again, not probably the best curve. I got to spin it around a little bit, and it's doing some weird things. So even though it's not perfect, that's fine. What I plan to do is move this point afterwards. Now I got a bit of a problem here, and that problem is I've got a white fill that's going on. So we need to take out the white fill and maybe give it an outline color so we can actually see what's going on here. I'm just going to hit Escape or ESC on my keyboard. And then doing so, I'm going to take my selection tool. And then with the selection tool and selecting this object, you'll notice that I have fill options as well as stroke options. So we're going to put this to no fill. And of course with the stroke, I can't leave it as invisible because we're not going to know where we're dragging and dropping our points and where our paths are popping up here. So I'm going to actually just go with something like a dark blue color here. And I'm also going to increase the stroke value too. That's maybe too much. Okay, so going back into my pen tool, I can definitely pick up where I last left off. So I'm just going to pick up right over here. And again, what I plan to do is I plan to look at this hump, and where it starts to decrease, I'm going to click and drag, just like that. So again, I know it's not perfect the first time, that's fine because we're going to go back and fix it afterwards. Okay, now coming around the curvature right over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go right about here to left click and drag. If I try doing it over here, I might not get the effect that I want. So maybe I'm just going to just click and drag right at this point, and just a little click and drag. Okay, now I'm going to come all the way over here, and I'm going to left click and drag. So it's not too bad so far. Now going over this hump over here, as it starts to decline, I'm going to click and drag right over here too. So I'm going to left click and drag, pull the bezier handles, and not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to come over to the apex of the point right here, and I'm going to click and drag, just like I did last time. Again, we can adjust these afterwards if it doesn't quite turn out the way that we want to. Alright, so coming over here, again looking at this, where it starts to hump downwards. Let's just do that. Okay, now let's click and drag over here. And maybe let's come over here. And again, I have this kind of bump here. As it starts to go down, I'm going to left click and drag. And left click and drag. Now I'm just going to hit Escape for one quick second. I'm going to really zoom in and see where we need to actually fix this up quite substantially here. At this point, definitely have to fix it over here, and it's also a little bit muddled over here. So we have a whole bunch of different tools to do that. So I'm just going to go Alt and use my scroll wheel to sort of see what's going on here. Okay, so to adjust the points, I have to use the sub-selection tool. right over here, and the shortcut is the letter A. So taking this, what I plan to do is grab this point, and you'll notice that I grab this point can easily be adjusted. Now, same thing with this point over here. I can grab this point and adjust this if I want to get it as close as possible. But you also notice that each point has two bezier handles. Those bezier handles can be adjusted. So if I grab this bezier handle and work like that, you can see what it does is it kind of has this little seesaw or teeter-totter effect. Okay, and I could do that. Now, whoops, I just moved the object by accident. So let's go back to this original point here. Grab the bezier handle. I'm going to fix the bezier handle right over here, but you'll notice it falls off a little bit. And this is a real versatility of the pen tool. If I hold down Alt on my keyboard, I can actually work with only one bezier curve. So holding down Alt and grabbing this side of the bezier handle, you can see I can independently move it apart from the other one. And I'm just going to move this right over here. And you can see now it's really doing a good job of kind of conforming over there. Okay, now let's look over here. This one's not too bad, but I'm going to also, again, hold out Alt over here, and you'll see that this bezier handle is moving independently. And let's take this point and just move it for now to get it to trace along very nicely there. Okay, so let's go to the harder part over here. You'll see I kind of messed this up here, and I did this on purpose. So if I want to fix this one, I'm going to have to probably maybe take away some points or add some points, depending on what I'm doing. So if I actually want to take away a point, what I can do is I go over back into my pen tool, right-click, and you'll notice right over here that I, in fact, have delete anchor point. This is not a very good anchor point here, so I'm going to delete an anchor point and get rid of this. Okay, great. Now, I probably want to create another anchor point because that anchor point that I deleted was in a really bad spot. So again, I'm going to right-click over here, and I'm going to go Add Anchor Point. Just so you know as well, the minus and plus keys are the shortcuts for adding or deleting anchor points. Now coming back over here, you'll notice that my icon has a little plus sign, so I'm just going to go ahead and add this right over here. Great. Back to my subselection tool, or A on the keyboard. I'm going to pull this out just like this. Okay, and now what I plan to do is I plan to sort of play around with the Bezier curves. Same with this too. I'm going to play with this Bezier handle just ever so slightly. And that's actually not too bad. So again, if you want to add a Bezier curve, right-click over here, add anchor point, and you'll see that your icon has a little plus sign. Again, if you want to get rid of an anchor point, what you can do is click on over here, and you'll see that it has a little minus sign. So if I were to click over here, it gets rid of that point. I do need that point though, so I'm going to go Control-Z or Edit Undo, just to sort of keep that there. All right, so let's refine this a little bit more, just so you kind of see what I'm doing here. Whoops, I moved the whole object. I don't want to do that. I want to actually click on the individual points. There we go. Let's move this around just a bit. And let's move this in just a bit too. All right. Okay, so moving right along. Oh, I definitely made a mess of this one. So I'm going to minus the points, grab my pen tool again, right-click or P on your keyboard, and now what I plan to do is I plan to go over here and I'm going to click and drag this. So if you're going to do anything in Illustrator, I think the toughest thing to do is master this tool. It does take a lot of time. And so be patient with it, play around with it, and kind of have fun. Now, one thing I don't recommend that you do, because I've seen this quite a bit done, is some students get so frustrated with the pen tool that what they'll do instead is they'll kind of cheat. And here's what I mean by cheating. Taking the pen tool, they're going to go like this. Now, if you look carefully, you could probably spot what I'm doing that's really wrong. Now, even though it seems like this is good, it's not. And the reason being is because I'm creating a whole bunch of straight lines to make it look like it's actually a curved line. So if I do a comparison here and a comparison here, you'll notice that this is not as refined, it's not as smooth. Not only that, but since you have substantially more points, your file size increases quite a bit. And the object that you're trying to trace or trying to create or illustrate with is not going to look quite as organic or kind of naturally in a feel. So I want you to go ahead, practice with the pen tool, using the techniques that I showed you, refine your points along the paths by moving them, adding deleting, or even adjusting the bezier handles either together or individually to sort of create that kind of cool effect of the flames. Now, once you're done, use the gradient tool afterwards, and that gradient tool is going to be then used to create, that very similar light type appearance. Have fun with it. Don't get frustrated. Do your best. If you need to go back and watch the video, that's a pretty good idea as well too. All right, thanks for now.